Imagine a world where the very concept of a horizon was impossible. There was no line where earth ended and sky began. Heaven and earth were fused into one crushing, solid mass. A single wall of existence where not even a single ray of light could escape. No sun had ever risen. No stars had ever pierced the velvet weight of the void. Before the first stone of any ziggurat was cut, there was only Nammu. Nammu was the primordial sea. She was not created. She simply was. An infinite, bottomless abyss of salt, liquid darkness, and silent potential. She was not a goddess seated on a throne. She was the raw, living substance of pre-existence itself, the dark, fluid mother of everything that would ever be. Deep inside her pressurized womb, a violent cosmic tension was building, a silent pulse that would one day tear reality apart at the seams. That pulse was the very first faint glimmer of the red thread, the invisible line that still connects the silent void to the world we walk upon today. From the heart of this watery chaos rose the cosmic mountain. In the ancient Sumerian tongue, it was called Enki. Do not picture stone or rock. Picture instead a suffocating fusion of two titanic forces never meant to share the same space. And the Sky Father and Ki, the Earth Mother, were locked in an absolute crushing embrace, so tight that nothing could move or breathe. In this state of Enki, there was no space, no air, no light. The entire universe was a single, infinitely dense point of static silence. Yet, within this unbearable pressure, a new consciousness began to stir, a force that could no longer remain trapped. That force was Enlil, the Lord of Storms, the breath of the world. Born in the airless gap between his parents, he was the wind that had no room to blow. As his power grew, the cosmic pressure turned into agony. To exist, Enlil knew he had to commit an act of divine and violent surgery. He did not speak, he did not plead. He raised the legendary owl, the great pickaxe of the gods, the first true instrument of the red thread. With a roar that shattered the waters of Nammu, Enlil drove the wedge between his parents. He struck the cosmic mountain with terrifying ferocity. In a blinding explosion of energy, the heavens and the earth were torn apart. The chains of unity were obliterated in a single cataclysmic moment. He hurled An, the Sky Father, into the highest spheres of the cosmos, forever out of reach of the physical realm. At the same moment, he pressed Ki, the Earth Mother, down into the depths, forming the heavy, fertile floor of our tangible world. In that staggering instant of rebellion, the Lil was born, the sacred atmosphere, the hollow space between above and below. For the first time, light had a path to travel. The horizon was carved into existence like a deep, bleeding scar across the universe. Darkness was separated from the emerging dawn. Thousands of years later, science would call this moment the Big Bang. The Sumerians recorded it in clay long before Einstein ever looked at the stars. Nammu was the dark, primordial sea. Enlil was the violent force of expansion itself. Without this breach, the laws of physics could never have been written. Light could never have reached the surface of our world. But this act of cosmic violence did something more. It pulled the first true red thread tight between the fractured heavens and our fragile lives. The stage was now set. The heavens belonged to An, the distant king. The earth belonged to Ki, the ancient and fertile foundation. Yet the gods were suddenly separated from their origin. They were hungry for purpose in this vast, newly opened universe. In the shadows of the freshly split mountains, the sons of the sky began to look downward. their eyes fixed on the dusty plains of Mesopotamia below. This was not merely an ancient myth. This was the exact moment the door was kicked open for the arrival of our mysterious creators. The great separation was over. The great colonization was about to begin. The seeds of everything we call civilization were ready to be sown. Next time we will witness the arrival, the first celestial craft descending like falling stars upon the waters of the ancient Gulf. We will journey to Eridu, the very first city ever built by divine hands, and we will discover the heavy burden that came with their glory. A burden so crushing it would drive the lesser gods to the brink of rebellion and eventually force the creation of humanity itself. This is the true beginning of our world. This is the moment the red thread was pulled tight. Welcome to the Anunnaki legacy. Follow the red thread to our hidden past. Subscribe now and don't miss part 2 of this Genesis story, the arrival at Eridu.